Hey folks, just a quick little thing before we get started. Negotiations between the Writers Guild of America and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers has collapsed. As of midnight, May 2nd, 2023, the WGA is on strike. We here at Lost on Lost stand in solidarity with all labor movements.
That's right. Creating film and television is a collaborative art, of course, but it all starts with a script. Good, bad, doesn't matter.
Clearly.
We're in a new era of entertainment. Shorter seasons of television, movies having the option of being released to streaming instead of theaters, and the value of our entertainment being determined by Wall Street earnings instead of what we, the audience, actually want to see.
We're also in an era of unchecked corporate greed and wealth inequality. The WGA's demands are not only reasonable, but they're a necessary bulwark against further labor exploitation, not only in entertainment, but in other industries.
The bosses are always going to try and squeeze, but labor has the power as long as we stand in solidarity against those who would exploit us.
Corporate greed led to the strike back in 2007, and Lost 4th season was shortened by that strike. So right now, your favorite shows and the people that work on them are already being affected by this one.
That's right. During the 100 days of the 2007-2008 writer's strike, the AMPTP cost the economy of Los Angeles an estimated 38,000 jobs, and it cost us Lost fans 2 episodes, which would have given us a more in-depth look into the lives of Miles and Daniel and Charlotte.
Wait, who?
The WGA isn't asking for the world. They just want fair compensation for the work they do and the product that they create. These companies would rather see people out of work for potentially months on end rather than part with just a couple of % of their corporate profits.
In the show notes, we're going to link a community fund where you can support the film and television professionals who are being affected by the AMPTP's douchebaggery and general unwillingness to negotiate with the writers. Go to entertainmentcommunity.org and click donate. Once there, you can use the drop-down and direct your gifts specifically to film and television to support our writers and below-the-line labor who are standing in solidarity with the WGA. We here on Lost don't fucking cross picket lines. We stand with the WGA. Workers of the world unite. Solidarity forever.
If we don't live together, we're gonna die alone.
Wait, what? Hi, I'm JP.
And I'm Adam.
I've never seen Lost.
I have.
I'm told that it's good.
I liked it.
I'm told that it made sense.
Sort of.
But we're watching it out of order.
So it definitely won't make sense.
But it might still be good. Since we won't expect it to make sense, we'll still be able to appreciate each episode on its own merits as a 1-hour story.
Sometimes 2 or 3.
As opposed to just a fraction of an ongoing, sprawling, and increasingly complex tangle of relationships, personal stories, mysteries, mythologies, experiments, social dynamics, unnatural disasters, unanswered questions, and hot tropical hookups.
Are you okay?
I'm not sure.
Because you lost me a little bit there at the end.
Well, good, because I've been lost since the beginning. We're Lost on Lost. Welcome everybody to Lost on Lost. Hey, I'm JP Russell, and I'm joined as always by a man who never kisses and tells mom, Adam Busher.
Okay, yeah, I'm Adam. I have some questions.
Where's the comma in that sentence?
Yeah, for one.
Hey, Adam, do you remember James Haven?
No.
Okay, he's an actor. He hasn't done much recently. His last starring role was in 2004 in a movie called Breaking Dawn. His acting career kind of took sort of a dive after the early 2000s when he made out with his sister, Angelina Jolie. Say what you will about the pedophiles and sexual abusers in Hollywood, but at least they don't support incest. Today we're talking about Hearts and Minds, the 13th episode of Season 1 and the 13th episode of Lost overall. Our centric characters, everyone's favorite COO of a wedding clothing subsidiary, Boone Carlisle. Hearts and Minds takes place on the 24th day after the crash of Oceanic Flight 815. Adam, do you have a recap?
Yes, I do.
Do it.
El viaje misteriosos del nuestro Boone. On the island, the fastest way to a survivor's heart is through their stomach. Sun Quan has started a garden to supplement the local food supply, while Jin Soo Quan teaches Hugo Hurley Reyes how to catch a fish. Sort of. Elsewhere, John Locke and Boone Carlisle irresponsibly deal with a dangerous mixture, being white and having too much free time. And in the before times, Shannon Rutherford summons Boone to Sydney, seemingly in need of rescue. Hey Boone, if you're gonna be a knight in shining armor, learn how to take a punch. And oh yeah, Sawyer's there too. Whether you consider this podcast pacification, propaganda, or countering the insurgency, we're just glad you're here. It's Hearts and Minds here on Lost on Lost.
Wow.
JP.
Yeah.
We've got a guest.
Do we?
We certainly do. Welcome back to the show from, Outlaws, Jake Mandel.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
Of course.
Thanks for coming back.
I'm really starting to think you guys have something else. First, we did Sawyer and Kate.
Yeah.
And now we're doing Boone and Shannon. Yeah. And the only reason I think that you guys might still like me is you didn't have me do the Nikki and Paula episode.
There is a secret reason why we had you on for this one, Jake, but I'm gonna save that story till the end.
Oh, okay. Now I'm intrigued. That's very interesting.
It's been a minute. Outlaws was a while back. What have you been watching or reading or consuming in the interim there, Jake?
We are currently watching Yellow Jackets, which is very Lost-like, which is pretty sweet. It's kind of a darker version of Lost, I would say.
Sure.
Yeah.
Barry just came back, so that's on tap next, I think.
Barry does roll.
It's so good. It's definitely one of the best things on television. Being somebody that was in college for theater, the acting stuff just gets me. Like all the acting workshops and stuff they do.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
Oh my God.
It's a little surprising to me, though, that they continue to make the show after they made the episode with the supermarket from season 2. Is that?
Oh, dude.
Because that was like the height of television, and all TV should have just quit then.
Right.
It's incredible. So oh my God. As a person that loves martial arts choreography and stuff like that, it's so good.
So good.
Yeah. This is a Barry podcast now.
Yeah. You guys are, we're just talking about Barry now. No, we should talk about this not as good TV show.
Yeah. You don't want to talk about Lost?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. Hearts and Minds originally aired on January 12th, 2005. It was written by Carlton Cuse and Javier Grillo-Marxuach, and it was directed by Rod Holcomb. Holcomb? Carlton Cuse wears glasses like a fucking nerd. Javier Grillo-Marxuach was the supervising producer on Jake 2.0 something. This is Jake Mandel's 2.0 LOL episode. And Rod Holcomb directed 3 episodes of Quincy Emmy, 2 episodes of The Equalizer, and 1 episode of Big Seamus, Little Seamus. I drink.
Yeah, we got a drink for the eye. Yeah, that's true. This is one of those quick establishing shots. Was like, hey, check out this person, and then 2 seconds later, look over here. Also,
so unnecessary.
Psych. Boone's just staring at Shannon like a fucking creep. There's a lot of staring in this episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's almost like this episode, the script was too short and they were trying to put stuff into it. And never mind. We can talk about that later.
It's almost like the most interesting part of this episode is the B plot.
Yeah.
Hurley interrupts Boone's staring to sort of...
That's what it said in the script.
To very gently interrogate him about the reality of the hunting expeditions that Boone has been going on with Locke.
Yeah.
Boone and Locke have been going out in the jungle hunting boar. That's part of the food supply, but it hasn't been very successful lately. And Hurley's kind of like, what's the scoop?
Folks need food. This is not a game.
People are counting on you. Take it seriously.
Quit horsing around.
If that is indeed what you are doing out there.
I like that everybody's so suspicious right off the bat because they're like, this guy's the dude that's out there hunting. I don't know. This doesn't seem on the level.
This doesn't fucking track here.
Especially when you consider like some of the we just found this man drowning one day. Like Jack was just swimming and found this guy under the water,
Yeah. We cut to a flashback pretty quick here. Boone's playing some tennis with some blonde lady.
Of course he plays tennis.
Of course.
You guys either one of you ever tried to play tennis?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In high school, I think in gym we did it like once, but that was about it.
It's a fucking workout.
If you want to exercise, go ahead and play some tennis. But if you want to do that shit for fun, man, there's other fun shit. Like I currently continue to clown on pickleball, but like that shit's got to be more fun than tennis. Yeah, he's playing tennis with this cupcake. She's literally just like there to be like, hey, Boone pulls. Like that's I think the only
Boone
point.
Fucks.
I think that's literally the only point of her being there. But she's like, she doesn't even go like, hey, I think your phone's ringing. He's like, hey, my phone's ringing. And then he just does she have any lines?
No, I don't think so.
He just talks at her.
Yeah, we don't get a name. Boone picks up the phone and Shannon is on the other end in some sort of distress.
Yeah.
She yells something about, get away from me.
I'm in trouble. And he's like, where are you? What's going on? And she's like, I'm in Sydney. You gotta come help me. Australia. And that's
the end of that scene.
Yep. I mean, that's nothing to say, really.
Cut back to the beach. Boone Boone threatens Saeed.
Yeah, that's going to go real well for you, buddy.
Even Saeed is like, this is a joke, right? Are you seriously doing this?
Yeah. In Boone's limited time on the island, he has had some pretty horrible ideas. Threatening Saeed's got to be like the worst one.
Saeed gonna break that boy in half like a Kit Kat. Like,
What didn't you say one time, JP? Don't make me fold your clothes with you in them.
yes, exactly. Yes.
Especially since we learn later that he just got his ass kicked
Yeah.
like 3 weeks ago. Just calm it down, bro.
There's got to be a better way to approach this situation. Like, if you want to warn him about your sister and her like dating history or whatever, there's better ways to go about doing that.
Well, and he doesn't offer up, it's just like, stay away from Shannon. We don't get a reason, not because I'm her brother, I'm her something else. It's just stay away from Shannon.
Right. He's not like she uses men to get what she wants and doesn't actually care about them or anything. Or...
Yeah, it's not like my sister's a textbook narcissist. Like, she literally uses people like and doesn't have any regard for their feelings or humanity.
But Saeed brushes it off pretty ably. He's not really concerned. He's like, okay, well, what happens if I don't fucking stay away from Shannon? And just before Boone's able to say something really stupid, JL is like, hey, I found some tracks. Come on, Boone. And he just leaves with no like cool, I'll see you in the funny pages line or anything. He just kind of like walks off.
Yeah. If I was Saeed, I would have just kept needling him as he was walking away, because I'm definitely not going to stay far away from her. In fact, I'm looking to get even closer than you have already observed us being, as close as two human consenting adults can get, honestly. Like, imagine that in your mind's eye and then replace the two formless shapes with your sister and myself. That's how close we're going to get. Have fun with John Locke, you giant dork.
Hey, you guys go over there and have fun hunting boar. Me and my ruthless hog are going to go by your sister. Anywho, Locke and Boone walk through the jungle.
And it's, again, the repeated vibe of, like, Locke's got a plan, and he needs somebody with a strong back.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Because, they, like, head out to the hatch. This is what they're actually doing. The pretense of boar hunting is all, like, pretty much everybody's figured it out at this point. Just nobody's saying it. They're not hunting anymore. They discovered the hatch a couple days ago. It's under the dirt. They're trying to figure out what to do.
Adam, I need to bring up something, because the way you phrase that will now come up for the rest of the episode.
Sure.
Boone says at one of these points where he's talking to Locke, I don't know if it's right now. Boone says to Locke, we've been coming out here for 2 days. Mm-hmm. 2 days of them not catching boar has raised so much suspicion that it is all anyone is fucking talking about. 2 days.
Look, I don't know if you've ever been hunting, but, like, you catch something every day, and that's what you eat for dinner. Like, if you go out to deer camp, you spend a week out there, every night. Pow,
especially when I'm
pow.
hunting via knife. I always come back with something.
Locke says something interesting here during this little conversation. He says, we can't make an enemy of Saeed. He's competent, and we're going to want him on our side.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, especially in the early days of season 1, because the survivors haven't really factioned themselves in any meaningful way at this point in the show.
Right.
We of course have seen it here on the show, like here on Lost on Lost, how Locke and Jack find themselves diametrically opposed in their own beliefs about what the island is and how to deal with whatever. And then even from there, we see, factioning off between Jack and Kate, and Jack and Sawyer, and Sawyer and Kate, and Saeed and Locke. But, like, they've only been here for a couple of weeks. Things are still pretty cohesive for the most part. But Locke is thinking, like, I don't know, 40 chests or whatever.
Yeah, he sees
that however this is going to play out, there are going to be sides. There might not be sides yet, but there will be.
Well, he believes something about the island that the others really have not come to yet.
Yeah, like he's already formulating his thoughts and beliefs
Yeah.
about the island. Everybody else is still very much focused on rescue.
Yep.
Yeah, but it is strange because we've seen some mystical stuff, right? We've seen the monster. Locke can walk. Jack's seen his fucking dad. Like, and all we found was a hatch in the ground. And John Locke is also treating this like this is magical.
Right. And he continues to do that, like, to an obsessive degree. I was always kind of like, but couldn't it just be like a hatch? Like, that you found something? It's not that improbable that there's some sort of other stuff on this island, you know?
Right. He always ascribed some sort of mysticism to, honestly, one of the most mundane things they found on the island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We now know that it's scientific, but it's not magical.
I mean, it's a big electromagnetic experiment. That's what we all know that now.
But it doesn't have a way to get in, Adam.
That's true. That is true. It doesn't have a latch or like a
so we just got to
doorknob.
stare at it until we figure out what to do.
So that's kind of what they do. They contemplate the hatch, and then we have the lost card.
I'm picturing the pondering my orb meme.
That's
contemplating my hatch.
Exactly. When we come back from the lost card, we are in the jungle. Hurley and Jack are walking through the jungle. Hurley, and he's probably not alone. Is experiencing some gastrointestinal distress, having subsided on nothing but fruit for the past 3 weeks. They'll run a number on anybody.
Yeah, Jack's like, well, what have you been eating? And then he just lists off every
fruit.
type of fruit that could possibly be found in this climate. And Jack's like, have you tried some protein? He's like, nah, man, there's no boar left, and all I got are sea urchins, and he hates me because I didn't eat the sea urchin, and he won't give me any fish, so I'm just eating fruit.
I love this. Hurley's like projection upon Jin of what their relationship is. It's like, I didn't eat the fish. I didn't eat the urchin the time he offered it to me, and he hates me now.
Yeah.
But then it kind of turns out to be true, I guess.
Sort of.
Later.
Yeah, kind of. A little bit, it seems like.
But it's also weird. Like, does Jin just go around to everybody's camp at night and like pass a fish out to each person?
Right.
Like,
and then
don't
like
they just bring them to the kitchen and cook them?
Right. And then he goes home and he's got like a list. He's like, okay, Scott didn't take it. Fuck him. Steve did take it. He's cool. Like,
yeah. I don't know. It's funny.
Hurley's got to bail. He's not feeling
But you gotta
well.
go. You gotta go, man.
Yep. Jack continues to wander aimlessly through the jungle. I'm assuming just getting his 10,000 steps in.
Yeah, he's just kind of fucking walking around in this one.
Like,
I know.
like on it. Like like what the fuck else do they got to do, you know? Like,
This is the second episode that you guys have had me watch, and both of them, Jack does nothing except just wander around in the woods and then have a couple conversations that are totally fucking useless.
Count your blessings, Jake, because there's times where he is going around doing things and it's
way worse.
Not great television. Remember when we watched him assault a woman and force her to give him a tattoo?
yeah, that wasn't great.
Well, he still looks terrible. So there's that.
At least he looked like a big piece of shit while that was happening. So
yeah.
speaking of looking kind of creepy, he just kind of eyeballs Kate from a distance.
Staring number 2.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? She's like, I see you there. He's like, well, I am being a creep. But
I'm not hiding.
And he's like, what's going on? She's got some seeds. He's like, oh, look, they talk about seeds. And then she's like, come over here. Like, Son's planting a garden. That's what I'm up to today. Today's seed day, and we don't have to be in the rest of this episode, but we should probably be in the rest of this episode. Whatever. Son's got a garden. She's growing some stuff. Good idea.
Yeah.
Great idea. Yeah, they eat a shitload of fruit. They probably got seeds all over the place. Plant some shit. They're planting herbs too. They're later on we see Son's planting all kinds of stuff. And yeah, get to it because shit takes time to grow. She's like, we started an orchard. Yeah, enjoy eating the fucking mangoes from that orchard 10 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Proving again, Son and Jin are the only fucking helpful, competent members of this cast.
That's right. Right. And they have big hearts too, because what's that saying? It's like a man doesn't plant a tree for himself. He plants it for his children and all that. So like when they're raising a family on the island, because they never get rescued, the children
the others will love all the cultivation they're doing once they kill them.
Ethan's also just watching in the woods. Oh, that's gonna be tasty.
I could actually use a little bit more papaya. Maybe could you do that?
Could you put, you're going a little heavy on the guava. We could use some more papaya. What's that heavy breathing? Nothing. Just gotta go. Is that the whispers? No, that's just fucking Ethan. He's behind
This
that
is
bed.
Ethan mouth breathing over there.
That's all the whispers have been.
He's just quote unquote observing us.
They have some line here about, this is a good idea because the boar seems to be running out. Kate's like, is it running out? Or, well, if it is, maybe Locke's just keeping it for himself.
Yeah.
Why would he want to feed everyone?
Right, yeah. This is why put in all his own effort. Why, it's costing him all his time and energy to just help us all out. So, yeah, she frames that really interestingly. How come you guys aren't bringing back any boar? I think they're migrating. No, you fucking murdered them all. You killed every single boar. There's no boar left.
Yeah, people have gotten so picky about it. They're like only eating the ribs because they're like, this is tasty. And they're just like throwing out the rest.
Well, if they're anything like the boar in the Sawyer episode I watched, they just walk right up to you and try to take your shit. So it's probably pretty easy to kill them.
Yeah, exactly. Her bigger concern is that Locke is becoming more selfish and less group oriented. Like that's what I think the subtext there is.
Yeah.
It's that meme of Bart. He's becoming isolated and weird.
There's something about flying a kite at night that's so unwholesome. Hello, mother.
Cut to the fucking hatch. Maybe some of the worst ADR that we've encountered yet. Fucking Boone's like, man, that glass sure won't break.
Oh, yeah. I know
It's
that too.
really bad.
The only thing I wrote down here for this scene was Locke compares himself to Michelangelo.
Yes, exactly. He compares the carving of David to looking at a hatch. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
He compares opening a door that has no handle to carving a Renaissance work of art out of a colossal cube of marble. Like,
Sometimes I think that the writers were really excited that they named him John Locke, and then they were like, we gotta come up with some philosophical kind of shit and some like allusions to smart stuff for him to say, and none of it makes any fucking sense.
John Locke, when he says shit like this, is like the perfect example of a dude who doesn't know a ton trying to sound smart, which is what Locke is. Like Locke is just like Locke's an every man desperately trying not to be an everyman. Locke says something smart like that to Boone, and Boone's like, this guy's a genius.
Yeah, exactly.
Boone's a colossal moron.
The fake Italian that he's speaking, like, he's not saying like blah 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 blah, which means yada yada. He's just like bibidi-ba marinara, you know. And I'm just like,
he says a guy's name. He says Ludovico. That's an Italian dude's name. Like,
sure, who's that?
Yeah, the prince in the story. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's the prince.
Does he drive Formula One?
There actually aren't any Italian drivers right now in Formula One.
Cut to a flashback.
Boone arrives in Sydney, heads over to a house where Shannon's supposed to be staying, and a dude comes up to the door, and he's like, "Oi, who are you? What are you doing on my porch? That's not a bruise. This is a bruise."
Get out of my sandwich now.
Boone's like, "I'm Shannon's brother, let me in." Comes in, and Shannon's like, "Hey, it's all good, everything's fine. This is my boyfriend Brian. He's real nice and misunderstood, and I'm sorry you guys got off on the wrong foot. Come back later, Boone. I'm sure it'll be fine." And then she like lifts up her,
Yeah, we gotta go see our friends.
and then she lifts up her hair to like show Boone that she's got like a knot or a bruise on her forehead. It's like that, hey, I am in trouble, wink wink, nudge nudge, but like I'm covered, like, you know.
So he's like, "Oh, yes, I'm going to leave now. Enjoy your friends.
Yes.
Your human friends."
Cut to the beach. Hurley asks Jin to show him how to fish. He's got a spear. He's like, "I know you don't like me. I know we got off on the wrong foot. The urgent thing. Just show me how. Show me where you're fishing, and I'll do it all. Just show me. I need a little bit of help. That's all."
Put me in, coach.
Yeah. And Jin's like, I don't hate you. I can tell you want to fish. You have a spear. This is why I fish at the ocean.
Yeah, the ocean. That's where the fish are.
From there, we cut back into the jungle. Locke and Boone, they're having a conversation. They're debating, telling folks about the hatch.
And this, like you said, Jake, Locke holds this thing as like in spiritual regard, where it would totally make sense to be like, "Hey, we found this fucking thing. hey, we get teams of people helping to excavate. We could get other ideas on how to get in this. Locke's like, no, this has to be a fucking secret.
There's 44 fucking people there. Imagine how much progress you could make on digging out this thing if you had 8 teams of 5 working on it every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody works one day a week.
But he thinks that he's going to have to like fight for it. And he thinks he's going to have to fight the other people for it.
There's only one way to find out. Fucking tell some people about it.
Right, exactly.
Boone's like, well, I got to tell Shannon. Why the fuck do you have to tell Shannon? She's special.
She's smart and she's special in ways that you don't even understand.
She's so smart that she ripped me off 4 times, and I'm I'm a smart guy, so she must be even smarter.
She took that limitless pill.
She gave me one, but it turned out to be a Tic Tac. And Locke's like, that's totally fair, and knocks him out with the handle of his knife.
Yeah, is Shannon really smart, or are you just prone to head injuries? Dorothy!
He could have just hit him, but he pulled the knife out and hit him with the hilt of the knife, which is awesome. But my observation of the media and all this stuff is completely damaged by everything I've seen throughout my whole life. Anytime somebody gets hit in the head with an object, as opposed to a hand, like a fist or something like that, in my head, I see birds around their head. So Locke hits him with the knife, and I immediately see tweeting birds rotating around his head.
Like in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Exactly. Locke says something about have you considered the ramifications? And I'm just like, what the fuck? But again, they're like, well, people are getting suspicious. My brothers in Christ, it has been 2 days since you came back empty-handed from hand hunting boar. Tell people to calm down and go forage some shit. They'll deal without a fucking pork slider for a couple of days.
Apparently they are, though, because every single person, that's all they're talking about back at the beach.
You know what gets rid of suspicion? Not acting suspicious.
Yeah,
because every time people ask them what they're up to, they're just like, "Oh, just regular fucking Survivor Island shit. We're hunting. Why? What's with the 20 questions?" And they're like, "I was literally just making conversation. I didn't even expect to be here for this part of it."
And they don't really need to be there either. They can contemplate or imagine themselves getting in there, sitting on the beach.
That's the wonderful thing about contemplating things, is you can do it anywhere. Exactly. What's that thing? It's like, did you know that you can just spin a cow in your head for free? They can't charge you for that.
Yeah, nobody can stop you.
Nobody can stop you. Yeah, there's a commercial, and then we're continuous. Boone's been hogtied.
Just the most humiliating way to be tied up.
Yeah.
His hands are all like, meh.
His one arm is in front of him, and then his other one is behind him.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of BDSM shit John Locke's into, but Adam, you said hogtied.
Earlier, Locke was working on something in a makeshift mortar and pestle, and he's still working on it now. He's got his goo going, mixing up a little bit of John Locke's island pudding.
Yeah.
That's a legit entry on Lostpedia. Go look it up. Yeah, he's making up this thing. He's like, hey, Boone, you should be careful with that head injury. If I don't treat it, it'll get infected. Slime. My guy, I didn't have a head injury before.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Yeah, I didn't have a head injury. Yeah, you're talking crazy. How would you know what you had or didn't have? You have a head injury. He's like, you got to get over some shit. It's like, what? So I'm going to leave you here. He's like, you can't leave me here. He's like, I'm going to leave you here. Camp's 4 miles away to the west. Which way is west? And then he fucking throws the knife at him.
Yeah, right by his junk.
Yep, right into the ground in front of him. And he's like, you'll be able to cut yourself loose once you're properly motivated. I'm tied up. You could have just set the knife down by me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I had the same thought, because it's a funny thing is whenever somebody throws a knife in a movie, they're like an expert knife thrower. It always goes tip right where they want it.
Exactly.
It just made me laugh imagining hitting the base, not rotating right, and just careening off into the jungle,
burying itself into his thigh.
Yeah, exactly. Or right into him.
Yeah.
But no, he's an expert knife thrower.
Yeah, Jake, you're pretty good with knives. I mean, you've spent a few hours training with knives.
Yeah.
That's just how you and your other knife-wielding compatriots exchange knives, right? You just throw them at one another.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I remember training knife throwing with you, Jake, in the backyard out on Oriole Court. And it's like, okay, we're going to train knife throwing. And there's a board, 8 feet away. Yep. And then the next 10 minutes, just the sound of knives clattering against that thing. Clang, 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 clang.
And then you get the one that actually sticks, and you're like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm
did.
motherfucking John Rambo up in this bitch.
Let's drink 7 new Glarises and start a fire to celebrate.
Sounds about right.
This is actually my favorite part of the episode because John Locke just throws the knife, it lands, and there's that moment where the show lets you like realize what happens, and Kai just goes unnecessary.
Locke fucks off into the jungle, leaving Boone there screaming, and then we cut to a flashback. Boone is attempting to report Brian to the police.
This cop, not great. Not great at his job.
Not great.
No.
Usually when I say, if you have a problem and you call the cops, congratulations, now you have 2 problems. That's usually more of a comment about the state of modern policing. But in this instance, it's like, no, this guy is just really bad at being a cop.
This cop's just like, nah, well, unless she calls it in, we can't do nothing. So get fucked, Mike.
Well, he's so incredulous. It's just
That
crazy.
too. Yeah, like Boone does such a piss poor job of making it seem like she may be in danger.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I'm coming around to the cop side. Fuck Boone. Get out of my office.
They use this scene as an opportunity to spell it out for folks who might not know what step siblings are. And they're like, oh, your last names are different. Yeah, we got different parents.
Yes.
No blood relation.
They're also trying to make you feel okay about something that happens later.
Right. No, they're setting it up, and I didn't notice that in real time until you mentioned that. That's so funny.
No blood relation.
And Sawyer's there.
And Sawyer's there.
Sawyer's there.
I think that's the only appearance in the episode.
This is Sawyer's only appearance in the episode, and this is Lost's first flashback character connection.
Oh,
this is the first time in any of the flashbacks that another character from like another part of whatever that crosses over. And so this is just the night or 2 before they return to Los Angeles. So Sawyer's in the fucking clink for punching that dude at the bar.
And this is before the episode that we watched, so you don't know why he's there. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Good job, Lost.
The big takeaway from Boone coming into the police and trying to report a crime is that him and Shannon are not they're not blood related. That's the big takeaway.
The most important thing you need to know.
Cut to the pier.
So Boone's like, well, the cops aren't going to be able to help me. You know what will help me though? Money.
Yeah.
Yeah, this asshole owns a boat.
Hey, man, I need you to break up with her. Just bail. Don't take it personally. You're the 3rd guy I've had to pay off. How's $25,000 sound? Hey, man, I'm in love with her. So make it $50,000.
Yeah. Boats are expensive, to be
fair. Boat maintenance does take a lot of cash. You gotta have something going on to be able to.
Gotta be scamming.
Yeah,
$25,000. You can't put a price on love. 50. You goddamn sold.
So he's just like, fine, a check. Pay to Brian $50,000. Memo. So he breaks up with my sister.
Bribe.
Yeah, love bribe.
Now we just Venmo.
Right? Yeah. It's like, what's your Cash App?
Wait, what does he put in the memo for Cash App?
It's an emoji.
Yeah. It's just like a girl face, a broken heart, and then a boat.
And a boat. Cut back to the garden. Yeah, Kate and son are sitting there, and Kate is just talking at her about fucking nothing.
Yeah. She's lying to her about how she got on the plane. I have a question. Do you think Kate suspects she speaks English or understands English?
No, she's just annoying.
Okay. What's the point of lying to her about how she got on the plane? Like, if Kate doesn't think that son speaks English, why isn't she just telling the truth?
Because there might be Ethan or Jack listening in the woods. Who knows?
She hears Ethan. That's a good point. I was going to Bali. Yeah, that's right.
Son gives it away, and it's pretty subtly like Kate is on top of that.
It was weird to me because Kate says something that isn't necessarily that funny, but son smiles at her. It's just she wasn't laughing at her. It was one of those awkward like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Son's on her 6th. That's crazy of the conversation. She's still not stopping. She's like, don't tell anybody. You figured it out. You genius.
It's just like, oh, you can speak English. Yep. Okay. Next scene. Jin catching fish.
Hurley and Jin are trying. Jin is fishing, and Hurley is trying to fish.
I know this scene is comedic or whatever, and like Hurley's supposed to be the one that's bad at it, but they are both literally like standing 3 feet into the water, doing the exact same thing. Jin has a better net or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think fish are just like fucking congregating like in 6 inches of water that you can just grab like enough to feed 40 people by walking 3 feet in there with like a little net. I don't know what is happening.
Well, that's why Jin's the fisherman and you're the boar hunter, Jake.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I watched a season of Alone during the pandemic, and those motherfuckers are trained and they can't catch fish for shit.
Right.
Hurley steps on an urchin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
My foot! It's gonna fall off. You don't
pee on me.
Yeah, you gotta pee on it. Pee on me.
Yeah. I've tried that one to strangers on the beach too.
It's like, what's that joke? What's the difference between a chickpea and a garbanzo bean? I've never paid a girl the garbanzo bean on my foot or something. I can't remember how it goes.
All right, well, thanks for coming, Jake. We're gonna call it quits, I think, for this
call it
podcast.
I'm really glad I never hit record.
Yeah.
Cut to the jungle. Saeed's working with some maps, making a little makeshift compass with a big magnet and a needle, a Tupperware full of water.
Yeah, again, it's just a check-in scene. It gives us a little bit of island spookiness about the compass.
Yeah, don't forget, I ran into Rousseau a few weeks ago, and I swiped some maps from her. Like
me and Rousseau were hanging out.
Yeah, just some girl talk.
Also, compasses don't work here, which is kind of ties in back with the Boone and Locke stuff.
Locke wanders in. They have a discussion. What's a Weebelo? I don't need my compass anymore because I am the island. Here you go. Saeed sets the compass down next to the magnet he was using to make his compass, so obviously Locke's compass wouldn't work.
Right, so is this Locke trying to like drop hints about the island to Saeed and try to get him on his side?
Yeah, and this is Locke sort of building himself up as some sort of like local expert and create a little bit of a connection there.
He offers up that line, I wasn't a popular kid, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
It's like you're not a popular adult.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, don't throw fucking knives at people.
Just hand them.
You notice how you're sitting on the beach all by yourself?
Stop contemplating so hard. You're being awkward.
Wish you weren't so fucking weird, bud.
Cut back to the jungle. Boone still tied up. He hears Shannon shouting somewhere off in the distance, and he starts to freak out. Then he also hears the smoke monster.
Oh, fuck. This show was already expensive enough to produce, so they could only do so much with VFX.
Sure.
The sound of the smoke monster is fucking great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, because you hear that, I'm like, oh, fuck. That sends some shivers up my spine. So just the sound of it, we don't need to show it. Just, it's bad news.
I was kind of like, they're not going to do a single shot of it, this whole time. But okay. We know what it looks like, so I guess it's okay. But it's all reactions off of the people that are kind of looking at it.
Right.
It has a singular sound, and that sound is terrifying.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, like, he freaks out. He's like, okay, we're going to get eaten by the smoke monster. I am now properly motivated. And he goes for the knife, and he gets it.
He bends his little arm a little bit.
So he's got to put himself through a little bit of pain to get the knife, but then he cuts himself free, finds Shannon. Shannon's tied up also, cuts her loose. They're running. I don't know if this is the type of information that should have been spread around by other victims or potential victims of the smoke monster, but you can hide from the smoke monster inside the banyan tree. For whatever reason, the smoke is, even though it's made out of smoke, it's incorporeal. Can't get into a banyan tree.
Okay. Kai and I stopped this episode for 10 minutes and tried to discuss this. Why can't the smoke monster go into trees?
Why not?
Excellent counterpoint.
I thought that was kind of dumb. I guess it's fine once you figure out the reveal later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they hide, and the smoke monster can't get into the thing. Cut to commercial. A different part of the jungle. Jack and Saeed are talking about potential magnetic navigation anomalies.
Oh boy.
Hey man, do you know where north is? Well, there's west, so that's north. Yeah, you'd think that, but it's actually just slightly to the right of where you were
20
pointing.
degrees from where you pointed.
Yeah, it really wasn't that dramatic.
Like, I was expecting him to point in the literal opposite direction, but he was like
Okay, so we're going to talk about land navigation for a second. Is that all right? So there's true north, grid north, and magnetic north. So
2 very boring minutes later.
No. Wait, hold on. So there's 5 major terrain features.
346 minutes later.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not that hard to triangulate. Like, you're on an island and you have compasses, and it's not that big of a search area.
Interesting.
So is that what you yelled at Kai for 10 minutes, or that was about the smoke monster?
No, it was about the smoke monster.
Oh, okay, cool.
I pulled out my sick vape, and I was like, see, I can just go through all these pencils.
Clouds. Cut to Boone. They're not in the tree anymore. Shannon, they're trying to find their way home, I guess. I don't know. Shannon asks why Locke tied them up. She's like, your boyfriend tied me up, tied you up. What'd you do to piss him off?
He's not my boyfriend.
We're just hunting buddies.
We just stare at hatches together.
Yeah, we just contemplate the hatch together. It's all good. 2 bros contemplating the hatch.
It's just shit the boys do. You don't understand.
He's all petulant. He's like, I know the way home. She's
so
like,
annoying.
I don't think you do.
We've seen a lot of Boone, Shannon arguing, bickering, petulance throughout Lost on Lost history here. This is finally the episode that kind of explains all of it.
Yeah.
It's coming up here
that's
in a little
true.
bit. But fuck, shut up, you two.
Yep.
Cut to a flashback. Boone comes to collect Shannon. Hey, I paid off your boyfriend. It's all good.
Well, about that.
I know you have a penchant for giving my boyfriend's money to leave, so I told my current boyfriend to take some money from you. There's like a convoluted sort of like justification of it. Oh, like, and we saw this in the Shannon episode where she died.
Right.
She got cut off by her horrible stepmother, and her horrible stepmother is horrible. She's a pretty massive bad word. Cunt. And so, like, there's a point. There's like, yeah, she got hosed. Like, and so we're just trying to get a little bit back. We're using Boone, sort of you, like, unwillingly. You're just a useful idiot. This isn't anything against you, Boone. You're a useful idiot in extorting my stepmother. Honestly,
My big problem with it is they made him fly to Sydney. This couldn't have been an email. Right? Like, just attach a picture of your head.
Right.
Have him wire the money.
Yeah.
Don't make him sit on a plane for that long.
15 hours?
Come on.
15 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a setup. She was in on it the whole time. Was the bruise makeup? Maybe, must have been.
Probably, yeah.
Although probably not. I honestly think Brian probably does beat her up because Brian's kind of a piece of shit in this. Even though,
sort
like,
of a shitheel.
Yeah, he seems like a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, maybe she's kind of justifying it to herself a little bit too. Like, she could be in a bad relationship and it's kind of like, no, this is my idea.
Yeah.
I'm in on it too. Although he does kind of figure out that she's done this before too.
Yeah,
So.
it's weird. Nobody comes out looking very good here.
Well, especially Boone, because he gets punched.
Yeah.
Yeah, because him and Brian, like, get in each other's face. They tussle, and Brian sort of punches the shit out of Boone.
Sort of punches
Boone
the shit
leaves.
out of him a bunch.
So then Boone leaves, all punchified.
Cut back to the beach. Jack and Locke. Locke is contemplating the ocean.
Ponder in the waves.
Jack asks if he can join him. Seen any boats lately, but not lately. And this is where Locke is like, we're probably not going to find any more boar. I think they're moving out of our valley. You don't live on a valley, you live on a beach. And that's kind of it, right?
He's like, Boone's, I'll check my hip and see if he's attached.
Oh,
Dad joke.
Yeah.
Oh, but I do have your nose. Got it.
The only thing I thought was kind of interesting about this scene is just knowing what's going to happen is these two guys kind of feeling each other out a little bit, because these are going to be the two kind of, main camps eventually.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but he's like, oh, so Boone's out there by himself hunting.
Is that a great idea?
Is that?
I love how everybody has no respect for him. It's so funny.
Cut to Kate and Son talking about why Son speaks English.
Yeah.
Not important.
Move it along.
Yep.
It's almost like they didn't have enough Boone shit and they had to put some other stuff in.
Cut to the beach. Jin and Hurley are just hanging out.
He gives him the sea urchin and he eats it.
And Hurley throws up. Yeah.
He says that there's a rumor that people think that you speak English, and he goes, "Your wife is hot."
Yeah. That's kind of funny. I
Yeah,
was like-
that was funny.
And you know, and Jin doesn't smile, so Jin obviously doesn't speak English,
Yeah.
or he doesn't like dap him up or anything. Like so,
He's like, yeah,
so
boy.
my wife is fucking hot, bro. Cut to the caves or the camp / the caves. First the camp and then the caves. Jack is checking on Charlie. Charlie still has suffering from some withdrawal symptoms. Gives him an aspirin.
Yeah.
Still suffering from some asphyxiation symptoms because he got choked
holy
recently.
shit.
He's got that huge bruise on his neck. Holy shit.
Charlie says, if the man I trust most to get us off this island or save us is that man right over there, Johnny Locke.
John Locke, yep. He saved my life.
Which is so funny because as soon as Boone dies, Charlie becomes the new Boone for Locke.
Yeah, that's true.
And he learns to hate him very quickly.
Yep. Because Locke's always trying to get people to like pull themselves up by their bootstraps and shit, and it's really annoying.
Yeah.
And then from there into the caves, Michael is contemplating the box.
Yeah. More.
His son and the dog are there at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear the
Because they're
dog
running
bark.
plane.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, is he imagining that? Is he like hallucinating? Because it was kind of a weird shot or something.
Yeah.
It struck me
Yeah.
weird. I'm like, wait, are they gone? And he's just like, I wish they. And then I'm like, no, they're there. What is happening? Why is this in this show right now? I don't know.
Again, hey, the audience, don't forget, Michael's got a box full of letters from his wife. He's got a kid and his dog. Don't forget about that. Jin comes in and gives Hurley a fish. Jin and Son talk probably about what their day was going on. Kate watches Son talk to Jin.
Kate's staring. Everybody's staring.
Bunch of weirdos.
Jack gives Kate some seeds. And that's about that.
Yep.
Why are they seed experts? Like,
I don't fucking know, man.
They know way too much shit. I swear to God. To be fair, they have been eating a lot of that fruit, so they probably are kind of familiar with what's inside of them. So
That's fair. It's been 20
Fair
some
enough.
odd days.
I wish they
Yeah.
would have found one fruit that they had never identified, and they were just like, nobody on the island knows what kind of fruit this is. All we know is it's edible, it's sweet, and there's a shitload of them. We've been eating the shit out of them.
We fed it to Boone first to see if it was poisonous.
Speaking of Boone, we cut to Boone. Boone and Shannon are arguing about whatever, and so Boone tells Shannon about the hatch. We found a hatch. We're not hunting for boar anymore. Blah 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 blah. The smoke monster returns. This scared the shit out of me. The smoke jumping up, the cloud of dust behind them.
Yeah.
Like I literally jumped. I was like, holy fuck.
That was very
was
good.
Yeah, and it nabs her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fucking just picks her ass up.
No banyan trees this time. She got. That was kind of a cool thing where they're like she's like running and then they're like she just like disappears up
Yeah,
out of
just-
frame.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Somebody with a jib that's just like picking her ass up.
Cut to a commercial. There's we're back into flashbacks. So Boone's in a hotel, icy his
Okay,
face.
here we go.
Yeah. There's a knock at the door. Boone goes to answer it. It's Shannon.
She's drunk.
She comes in. She's like, Brian took the money. I got. We were gonna take it and play you, and he took my money. And I'm sad.
It takes a couple of days for a check that large to clear. Like,
Your bank is going to be like, what?
Yeah.
huh?
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No?
She's like, I knew you would come and help because you're in love with me. You've been in love with me for however long we've known each other. And she starts coming on to him.
Yeah. And then we watch it for a long time.
Yeah. way too long, honestly.
Well, I will say this. This scene feels very modern. Not to broadcast television as much to just every video on Pornhub now. For some reason, don't ask me how I know that.
It's in the zeitgeist. You just see it on Twitter and shit like that. Like people making jokes about how prevalent the step sibling pornography genre has become. And I don't know if it's because of Game of Thrones or what.
So I was thinking about this last night because that's immediately what I thought of.
I'm stuck in the dryer, step brother. Go get help.
Yeah, exactly. If I should be putting this out publicly, but okay, fine. It's in the zeitgeist. So
Yeah.
I was like, is this a COVID thing? Like nobody could leave their house? Is that where it came from? I don't know. It's weird.
But like I said, it is kind of in the zeitgeist. In so much. I've seen articles asking this
Yes,
question:
exactly.
Why is this
articles.
fucking? People are asking the question: Why is this genre of pornography so prevalent now.
Cause it's just so fucking hot.
And it seems to me that people are trying to justify it like it's taboo, and taboos are hot. That's why.
Right.
That's why
Yeah.
it's the taboo. It's not because everybody's like attracted to their stepsister or their sister or whatever, but it's because when it comes to fucking, people don't like to be told what not to do or whatever.
So Boone and Shannon ahead of their time.
Yeah, years before Game of Thrones, fucking going at it.
I did not remember this part of the
Dude,
show at all. I was shocked.
As soon as I first saw Boone and Shannon on the screen when we first started doing this, I was like, oh yeah, fuck. They fucked. God damn it. And I was sitting here, this is the question. I was like, JP.
Did you know that this was going to happen, JP?
These were the two questions I had. Was JP going to have Locke being paralyzed spoiled for him? And was JP going to find out about Shannon and Boone fucking before we got to this episode?
So we have to take a small sojourn to a story.
Okay.
It was spoiled for me that Shannon and Boone
okay.
hooked up at one point. And I said, oh, they're step siblings. That's gross. Right around 2000, it was the winter between 2010 and 2011. We were all in UW Oshkosh.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we were at Mabel Murphy's.
Great.
We had all been drinking heavily. If you can believe it or not.
Checks out.
Yeah, it tracks.
So far.
We must have been drinking for a while, too, if we were at Mabel Murphy's, because nobody goes there first.
No.
Nope.
The fucking place burned
Famously
down.
carpeted.
Yeah, famously carpeted bar. Rest in peace, Mabel Murphy's.
So the person I was dating at the time had a roommate who will go unnamed. That roommate was dating and fucking her stepbrother. Now, they both met.
No.
They both met as adults. Completely consensual. Everything was fine. The person I was dating sort of let this out, explained the situation, was like, hey, but don't bring it up because she's very sensitive about it. Great. She walks in, gets to the table. No one has even said hello yet. And a wasted Jake Mandel goes, what's up, brother fucker? And it's the funniest thing that I've ever seen in my life. And I said, oh, these step siblings are fucking? We should have Jake Mandel on that episode.
I don't remember that at all.
We just got done saying, don't bring it up. Jake just yells, what's up, brother fucker?
I do remember that. I remember that so bad.
Oh my god. Oh fuck. Oh, shit. I do not remember that. Holy shit.
It was so smooth, though, because I think she heard you say, what's up, motherfucker? And she goes, huh? And you went, what's up? Just like you covered your own tracks perfectly.
That is unreal.
Oh my god. I think about that 3 times a month.
That's amazing. Man.
Anyways,
I can't believe I would say that to somebody. That's amazing. Well, I can believe that 2010 Jake would have said that to
2010, I buy
somebody.
that track.
Yeah.
No, it like fades to black.
yeah.
And then like it is the next morning and Shannon's like,
They don't wake up entangled in their arms
No.
naked. They're like all shameful immediately.
Yeah.
Boone's
Yeah.
contemplating.
Yeah.
And
It's like,
Shannon,
what did I just do?
She turns on the light and she's like, when we get back to LA,
Yeah.
we are obviously pretending this didn't happen.
Don't tell
Yeah.
mom.
Cheapers. Yeah.
Ugh.
So as to why they constantly bicker and argue and they have this sort of weird, intense, contentious relationship is because they are stepbrother and sister. And 2 days before they got stranded on an island, they had sex and she was drunk and it was all really horrible.
Yep. It's not great.
Yeah, no, I mean, it actually makes a lot of sense for the way they behave. So,
Cut back to the island.
Yep. Boone is looking for Shannon. He's trying to find her. He finds some bloody rocks near a stream.
A lot of blood.
It's a lot of blood. He follows the bloody whatever to a dead lady, and it's, lo and behold, it's Shannon.
Another episode where Shannon dies.
We dealt with her real death a bunch. Now we're going to deal with her fictional death.
The writers love killing this blonde lady.
And honestly, even though we find out in a couple of seconds that this isn't actually Shannon, it's just
Right.
this is just fridging. It's just fridging. A man's emotional journey spurred forward by the death of a female.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like, whatever. So he heads back to the beach. It's nighttime now. Boone jumps Locke. He's like, you did this to us. You got her killed.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. And he's like, that's what it showed you? He's like, what do you mean what it showed me? And he's like, Shannon's fine right over there.
She's right over there, man.
Saeed's about to take her to Pound Village or whatever. Boone's like, wait, what? I hallucinated. The island pudding, you put it on my head.
Yeah, ingesting that stuff via your skull can't be great for you.
I'm sure it's fine. It was a hallucination. The whole thing from after Locke hit him with the knife until him coming back, it was all a dream or a hallucination. It was a manifestation of his inner consciousness, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Psychedelics are a doorway to a different plane. They open your third eye. They strip you of your ego and all that stuff and all that stuff.
The thing about psychedelics is, turns out I don't know what a microdose is.
Any religion that uses psychedelics as part of their medicine and part of their culture, you don't just be like, oh well, I'm gonna drink this 24-ounce Yeti full of ayahuasca and I'm gonna be a better person. No, you need to be mindful of unearned wisdom. Psychedelics present you with wisdom. Yes, this is true by opening up your third eye, by stripping you of your ego, et cetera, et cetera. But if you're not ready for it, or you're not done the appropriate work in order to have earned this wisdom, you're just gonna have some sort of weird drug trip. Oh, hey, weird, Boone, you just banged your stepsister 3 weeks ago, and then you had a drug trip about her. That's like, of course, that's what he's gonna fucking dream about.
Right?
That's some weird shit that just happened to him.
He's not even consenting to do it. He doesn't even know he's going into it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fuck, that bugged the shit out of me.
Yeah, I mean, if you do it correctly, you can end up on the New York Jets, maybe.
Maybe.
It's an Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
Sports fans out there.
Our audience.
That's a Nick brand. That's for you, Nick.
Yep, that's just for Coach. None of the rest of our audience.
It's just for Nick Brandel.
Locke's like, well, you got to let it go, and that was the first step. Congratulations, Boone.
You're really lucky he didn't hurt himself, fall down a fucking cliff or some shit, or
Remember when you gave him a big old pudding full of psychedelics and a huge knife?
Yeah.
And tied him up in the woods.
Cool stuff, dude. Lost.
Yeah, it's a really slow fade out.
Yeah. I thought there was going to be another scene.
Yeah, are they supposed to have learned something about how they're going to get into the hatch through this whole fucking situation? I don't understand what any of it amounts to.
No.
I don't know. We learned about Shannon and Boone's backstory. What did we learn about anything else?
Nothing.
It's a very, very interesting question.
What does Locke think he accomplished? Because he obviously thinks he accomplished something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Did we like it? Was it good?
That's what we're trying to figure out here on Lost. Jake, why don't you start us off? What did you think about Hearts and Minds?
Well, about the episode, I don't know. I don't think it's very good. I have a hard time with Boone as a character and the way he's portrayed and everything. It's just kind of hard spending time with him and enjoying it. But,
Yep.
And then all the interstitial stuff, while I do like seeing people actually working and how the camp works and stuff like that, all the conversations were kind of nothings. So I don't know. Not so much.
Sure. That's fair. JP?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't really care for it. I mean, the thing I was, again, the most invested in was Sun's storyline, and it really was very lackluster. We already have another idiot on this island. His name is Charlie. And unfortunately, he's a more interesting character. So all this Boone shit's pretty insufferable.
Yeah.
Adam?
Nope. No. There's stuff in here that could have been interesting, but they didn't make it interesting. And Boone is insufferable, and Locke does a lot of shit that I dislike and Yeah, and on top of it, I was just bored for most of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a cardinal sin for me for watching TV or movies. It's like, just, if nothing else, don't be boring. And it was boring. So no, I'm out.
Yeah.
So it's easy to say that Carlton Cuse and Javier Grillo-Marxbach did not win our hearts and minds.
Boo this man. But someone does have to win our hearts and minds. Someone still has to be the MVP of this episode. Jake, start us off. Who is your lost MVP?
I do appreciate getting to go first because I can steal the easiest and the best. And that's obviously Sun. She's out here gardening. She's helping out.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you could go Sun and Jin together, but yeah, she's bringing some good plants to the group. She's being the best self always.
Yeah. Yep. JP?
I'll take the next lowest hanging fruit. I'm going to give it to Jin. Jin's out there. He's working. Hurley's being a complete bozo, but he's keeping his patience with him, even with the language divide. He's still trying to give him that olive branch or fish, whatever. And he's just a good dude. Mm-hmm. Adam, MVP?
Yeah, this tree really only has 3 pieces of fruit on it, so I'm going to take the last one and give it to Hurley. The only comic relief in the episode. I'm a sucker for a good pee on my jellyfish sting joke. Yeah, Hurley, keeping it light, trying to inject a little bit of humor and excitement into an otherwise fairly dull episode.
Yeah. Well, flip side of this, who's that real high hanging fruit that people tend to not like? That's the analogy, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Lost forever. Who is your least favorite person from Hearts and Minds? Jake, start us off.
I wanted to do a bit and pick Jack, but actually he was just kind of there. He didn't do anything terrible.
So forgettable.
Yeah.
Like, I think I picked him last time and he was more annoying that time. So, obviously you could go with the man himself of the hour, but I'm gonna pick Locke because just shit he does just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, I know he is kind of acting more on like religion or like, he did start walking. Like, I understand he's not thinking in probably the way I would think or whatever.
Sure.
But like, I don't know what he's trying to accomplish. Why is he hanging out with this guy? Like, why is he picking? I don't know what's happening. And I don't know what he accomplishes. And he's smug the entire time.
Yeah. Not only does he not get anything done, he's smug the entire time. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
JP.
Yeah, I also have to give it to my sweet baby boy, John Locke.
Ooh.
Wow.
Charlie's line about there's no one else I trust on this island. If there's one person I trust on this island to get us off, it's John Locke. Locke's harebrained scheme does work out in the end by no doing of his own. He almost killed Boone multiple times.
Sure.
Hit him over the head with a knife, threw a knife at him, just gave him a dosage of some drugs, left him tied up in the jungle. Like, it's an insane plan that should not work, and it's dangerous. Mm-hmm. He's not telling people about the hatch. He's being fucking weird, and it's just insane for, I'm not even going to say the wrong reasons, for no reasons.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Adam.
I'm giving it to a pair. I'm giving it to both Locke and Boone.
Yes. I'm glad somebody's throwing him under the bus.
Because they're both doing severely uncool shit in this episode. Locke, don't dose people with psychedelics against their will.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Big no-no. I don't care what your motivations are. And on top of that, his self-centeredness is increasing, which is actively putting these survivors in more danger.
Absolutely.
He's becoming tunnel visioned into his sort of mysticism and his religious spiritual journey, whatever, and that's actively creating problems for other people. That's bad. And then Boone, when she comes to your hotel room drunk, don't fuck her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just,
it's another consent thing.
When she's drunk. You don't agree with what she's saying and her motivations, like as to why she came there to fuck you. But then, like, you yourself are like, we shouldn't do this. I'm not in love with you. Whatever. Don't fuck her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use your fucking head. Money causes brain damage. Boone is rich, and so is Shannon, and they do a good job in this episode of painting these people with all of these weird they have all these reasons as to why they do all this shit. Shannon and Boone's reasons to ever do anything is because they're entitled and just used to getting anything they want. That's the reason they do everything.
Yeah. I get that he's like in a very emotional place after what just happened to him earlier that day or whatever, but like at the same time, it's fucking fucked up. Like,
yeah, it's just fucked up. Not fucking somebody is so much easier than fucking somebody. Like,
yeah.
Well, money gives people brain damage. That's why we're so fucking smart.
Absolutely.
Jake, thanks for joining us.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for just reminding me of that story. That I don't know. I kind of had a hard time even continuing after that. That's wild.
Well, we're gonna have to have you back at some point for like an actual good episode.
Like a good, an actual good
No.
episode.
I like this bit. This is fun.
Do you have anything you wanna plug? You want to shout out? You want the people to be aware of?
Nah, I'm good this time. That's fine.
All right. The stuff from the previous episode still stands. Everybody go back and listen to Outlaws because it was a fucking awesome episode.
Yeah.
We talked about guns a bunch. It was hilarious.
I was glad there was no guns in this episode because I think I'm tapped out on that shit. So
yeah.
But that's what we listened to in the past. JP, what are we going to listen to next time?
Oh, man. Next time, if you're looking to be lost with us, we're going to be watching Season 2, Episode 2, Adrift, starring Michael Dawson. Getting another Michael episode.
Yeah. Michael's another one of those hit or miss characters. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes. We never addressed the fact that this episode was too short. It was literally too short. If you go into the Lostpedia trivia, this episode was too short, and they had to add shit to it to like even make the run time that it hit. So
that makes so much sense. They should have made the sex scene longer.
It's like in Joe Dirt. I'm your sister. I'm your sister. I'm your sister.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Now I have to go find that clip.
Perfect.
God,
holy hell.
Man.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning into this episode of Lost on Lost.
Yeah, I'm Adam.
I'm JP.
You have any idea what's going on the show?
Nope.
Me neither.
Lost on Lost is produced and edited by me and JP.
We wish to acknowledge that we live, work, and produce our show on occupied land.
Burbank, California is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Tongva, Chumash, Kizh, and Fernandino Tataviam peoples.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Peoria, Potawatomi, Miama, and Ho-Chunk peoples.
And Lost was produced in Hawaii on the lands of the Kanaka Maoli.
Visit native-land.ca to learn more about the land you live and work on.
You can engage with us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Lost on Lost 1.
You can also email us at wearelostonlost@gmail.com or support us with dollar monies at coffee.com/wearelostonlost.
Thanks to Lostpedia and its community of contributors, Danny Schmitz, random.org, and as always, you the listeners for tuning in.
We're hosted at Podbean. You can hear us there or wherever you get your podcasts, except MySpace. We're not on MySpace.
Yet.